But let me prepare you mentally for this video. I am going to be sitting here painting. I have not painted in a while, confession time. The only time I would paint, like a lot of these paintings that I have done, are mostly either for a workshop or for someone, and I think it's been way too long. I am going to be spending the next couple of months just painting because it feels good, and I feel like I'm in this space where I constantly feel unsatisfied that my work looks the same and I keep wanting to stretch and expand, and sometimes I just need to sit down and just be with myself. So today, while my kids are swimming in the pool, you're going to hear screaming and shouting in the background, and hopefully you don't mind that. But I want to invite you to grab your supplies, sit down with me and paint just, with whatever favorite supplies that you have. So if you're ready for this half chaotic, half calm episode, I would love for you to grab your paint, sit down with me, let's do this real time, watch all of the different things come to life, listen to me speak about my process, how things have been, and also I hope that you enjoy this format that I'm experimenting with. Yeah, it's okay.
You're gonna check on my strategies. Yes. It doesn't go out of the sink.
Yeah. We are in day one here on Bali, and taking this adventure again. I'm pretty excited because this time I'm gonna spend a little bit more time with my creative self. And speaking of which, after setting up my space, there's one thing missing in my setup, friends. My cup of water.
They got some back here. Actually, no, they drank this morning.
Right, now we are ready. So I didn't bring my cloth with me, so I know my environmental friends are gonna be like, don't use tissue, but I'm gonna have to. I don't know if you guys can hear my kids screaming in the background. They are in the pool right now. But I thought that I will paint together with you in this point of view where you get to actually see me paint. Basically, you're sitting right in front of me. And I hope you have a fun one watching me paint. Now, I typically like to add my flowers on this side, and I thought I'd change things up a little. Guilty, know where my muscle memory goes. And been using this cat's tongue brush that I really, really like. I think why I love it so much is because it gives you such beautiful broad strokes, and it's just effortless, so much easier. And one of the things I like to do is to disrupt the flow of my painting. Kind of spray it down a little, soften the edges. And lately, in my creative space, I feel like I haven't had the chance to sit down and paint for fun. I think I often feel like I'm caught up in just the workspace of things, like just creating the classes and things like that. I've forgotten how to have fun with the things. So today I'm just going to be warming up, and I think many of us don't warm up enough. Warming up means that we are just taking our paints, especially if we've not done it in a while, like if you've been just like me, and we're just gonna create with different colors, play around with the space that you have on the paper, and allowing the paints to bleed into one another. really loving the red coming into the green here. And then the red, the movement, just allowing all of it to happen. Then taking a bit more yellow into my blues. Maybe injecting in a little bit of that red to get a fun color. And just dabbing and making marks. You know, the fun thing about using big brushes is that you can get so many different shapes, and sometimes you don't know what kind of shapes are going to come out because it all depends on how you move with your brush and flake. And now we're going to add one small one here, maybe. See, using the side of my brush, I think brushwork is definitely something that many of our stage 1 artists are hanging out at. I find that it is so underrated. So many of us, like, we want to be everywhere else, but with the supplies that we already have. So this, for me, especially when I travel and paint, I always feel like it grounds me into just coming back to what I have with whatever that I have decided to bring. You know, we tend to have more comforts for sure in our home space. This is a fairly small sketchbook that I'm using, and I often find that on days where I don't feel like I want to paint, it's very easy to just grab a small sketchbook and work with that instead. Then that way it's really like you don't have any excuses to make. There's been this topic that has been coming up a lot lately in my community, and I am noticing that while we have so much resources when it comes to painting and, you know, whether it's supplies, tutorials, I feel like, yes, I learned so much on the online space, and I have so much to be grateful for because of that. I have definitely picked up lots and lots of skills from some amazing artists. But despite having all of these resources, I think what most of us wish we had more of is time. Basically time to sit down and time to do, time to spend, or not feel guilty about just painting for fun and painting with no objective in mind. And today I'm just taking that where I just using this as an opportunity to warm up basically my travel supplies, because I have not used this set often enough. That said, these are the same paints that I use from home, so I want to still have that level of comfort so that it feels easy to get back into it. And I think this is another thing that we can start doing more of, finding ways to make it easier on our practice, whether it is the comforts of a favorite brush that you have, paper, or anything at all. And I think that the more we inject in comforts, the easier it will be to come back into your practice, especially if you don't spend enough time or you spend a lot of time away from it. Now, another thing that I find is that when you spend a lot of time away from something, there is always this guilt where you're feeling like you're not sure if you come back to it, if you're going to be good enough anymore. And I definitely feel that, definitely feel rusty. And it's basically like riding a bike, right? You come back and you are wishing that you had more time, and then you don't have to feel this way. But I think it's always just making small efforts, and over time you would definitely see some difference. It's so funny because as I'm speaking, you can hear my kids in the background, and I hope it's not too much of a distraction. I wanted to try something different, a little bit more of a personal way of reaching out. And also speaking with you. You see, the fun thing about this piece is that I had started off here and I noticed that I was not as adventurous. And you see, the more I warm up and the more I expanded my painting, definitely feel more free to play around with fun color combinations that you can see throughout the rest of the paintings, which was what I was gunning for and wanting, which is very, very fun. Let me know how you feel about this format of videos. As you can see, I'm always like keen to make videos that are not just easy enough for me to keep showing up, but also allow you to get to know yourself, your paints, maybe introduce to you one or two things that you can start doing to breathe creativity back into your life, depending on where you have been and how you feel. Every time I feel like I'm in a rut, this is really one of those practices that I love, like just making marks and mixing up my paints and just playing with whatever I have. It's so easy for us to get caught up into feeling like our practice needs more, but sometimes it's less. You know, the whole act of just bringing out my paints and coming here with a limited set and palette and then just having to deal with it, right? And making it work for me. I think I'm gonna call this piece done very soon. But I thank you for making the time to be here with me today. No matter where you are from, drop a hello and what you think of this piece. Did you paint with me? Also, sit down. I hope that this has brought you some comfort in knowing that sometimes showing up can look different on many days. It doesn't have to always be perfect, but it's about making that small act. That's it, friends. I'll see you the next time I paint again.